Hey everybody, Yankee here. You know, one thing I'm pretty sure most of you know is that I'm no stranger to controversy. You know, I'm never surprised when I kick somebody off and they decide to unsub or take away their patronage of my channel. Happens all the time. Because I usually don't know when to keep my mouth shut. Don't keep my opinions to myself. I want to be honest with everybody. I want to let them know what I think. So if they support me, they know what they're supporting. If they support this channel, they know what programs they're paying for. They know what attitudes I have. I'm not going to lie to them to try to get them to support the channel or the programs we support. And because of this, I get people leaving all the time. In fact, most days I only go up 1 or 2 subs because for every, 10 that join, 8 leave. And I'm used to that. And it doesn't really bother me all that much. Lately, it's mostly been, people on the far right that think I don't worship at the Trump altar hard enough. That I don't treat him like he's some sort of messiah. That's who I've seen leaving mostly lately. But I have seen also some far left people leaving because, oh, I'm not standing with Palestine, that kind of garbage. So like I said, the far right and the far left, I'm used to them getting upset, taking their ball and going home. But lately I've been getting some heat from people that are just slightly left of center. Some of my, centrist viewers. And it's because of something I said about the left in one of my Toy Guns for Tots videos. I said that the left demonizes guns and that the left indoctrinates children to be anti-gun. That they basically groom them to be future Bloomberg supporters. And a lot of people took exception at this. They said I was lumping the entire left of center group together. And that it's only the far left that do that. Well, I hate to disagree. Now, I will say that when I usually complain about the right or the left, I really do mean that tiny fraction at both ends that is extreme. I don't mean the general group of people that are right of center or left of center. It's usually the crazies at both ends. But when it comes to what I said about the left indoctrinating kids, especially kids in need, the most vulnerable kids are like, religious people who go to foreign countries and say, hey, look, we got food. If you want this food, you got to accept Jesus. It's kind of that thing. They go to the kids that are the most in need and they take advantage of that situation. And a lot of people are like, that's not the left. That's just a fringe on the left. And I hate to say it. No, it isn't. It is widespread on the left that people believe, oh, kids and guns don't mix. Kids and guns don't mix. I made a video a few years back, well, several years back now, because he's in his 20s now, of Caden getting his first rifle when he was 8. And I'll put a link in the upper corner of this video so you can go over and see some of the comments. And those are the ones I didn't delete. People were irate that I gave an 8-year-old a rifle, even though every video I've ever showed of him being at the range was him under direct supervision of me, standing right with him every time he fired. And plus it's kind of hard to shoot yourself with a bolt action rifle. So people freaked out. And these just weren't far lefties. These were people on the left, people just slightly left of center. And I personally have seen this so much because, as most of you know, my degree's in psychology. I worked in social services. I've been working in social services to one degree or another since, the late 80s. And I saw even as far back as then when we would do things like giving trees and kids would come in and say, I want a bike or I want this or I want that. There was a little script you could read when they asked for something like a toy gun, like if they wanted cap guns or, the new Nerf things were just becoming popular back then. If they wanted those, there were things we were, supposed to read and tell them. Oh, Santa doesn't like to bring toy guns because he doesn't want to see you be violent. So ask somebody else for that. Ask Santa for something that isn't a gun. Saw that all the time, like I said, as far back as the 80s. So, not 70s, I'm not that old. But that's prevalent. These kids are being taught that guns are bad. When you can't have a toy gun because Santa won't deliver them, you have to put together that that's because guns are violent and violence is bad. And if I like them, Santa won't like me. So that's why I do Toy Guns for Tots, which if you're interested in getting to Toy Guns for Tots, I'll put a link in the upper corner of this video here where you can go over and donate because we're running it right now. In fact, that's why I wanted to talk about this right now, because we are doing this. And it's not just to give kids toy guns because the major agencies won't give them toy guns. It's not just to make the kids happy. It's to counter that indoctrination that guns equal violence and violence equals bad. And that's why you can't have the toy gun from Santa. It's widespread. It's not just limited to the far left. That is the mainstream idea in the left, especially in the social services area. And it's not just social services. It's these big companies and these big retailers and manufacturers, because they all have agreements with these bigger agencies that do this nationwide every year that, yeah, if someone donates toy guns, we can understand why you don't want to give those to kids. So just turn those back in. We'll give you store credit towards socks, underwear, etc., whatever. So that's why we do Toy Guns for Tots. Not just to give toy guns to kids who really want them. And we've done that for literally thousands of kids now. We've hit at least 2,000 toy guns we've distributed across the country. Not just to make those kids happy, that's part of it. You know, I was happy when I had toy guns as a kid. All my favorite toys were toy guns. If you look back at pictures of me, I'm twirling toy PPKs, or I got a cowboy rig, although it does look like I'm a gay cowboy from the 70s or something. But still, those were my favorite toys. So I do it for that reason, but mainly it's to counter the indoctrination of the modern generation that guns are bad. And if you want to help with that, go donate to Toy Guns for Tots, because they are being taught that guns are bad. We're losing these generations that are coming up now. We've failed when it comes to bringing the millennials onto our side when it comes to guns. We failed drastically there because we seem to attack every other thing that's not gun related that they actually believe in. You know, things they support. The gun community seems like they feel the need to bring that into our argument as well, when it has nothing to do with guns, and we just alienate generations of people. And I don't want that to keep happening. We need to grow our tent if we want to survive. So for those people that are mad saying I'm throwing casting aspersions on an entire group of people because of the actions of a few. It's not the actions of a few. Hell, it's the political stance of the entire party on the Democratic side that guns are bad. Only bad guys have guns. They want you to believe that there's two types of people that have guns: criminals and the police that protect you. That's what they want you to think. So let's stop pretending that it's just a tiny little sliver of people on the left that are causing problems for the gun community, that are anti-gun and want to indoctrinate young people to be anti-gun. It is part of their political platform. It's part of their social constructs. It's a big part of it. And we need to address that. And ignoring it just because you tend to be a little left of center doesn't fix the problem. Stop accepting, the bad with the good. Accept the good, whether you're right or left, and try to change the bad. There's plenty of both on both sides. And that's why we do Toy Guns for Tots. We're trying to change that. In the future, I want people who are right or left to have positive opinions of the Second Amendment. And so far, we're failing at that. So like I said, that's why I do Toy Guns for Tots. That's why I paint the left with such a broad brush when it comes to guns, because it's evident. Now, I'm not saying the people on the right that are politicians want you to have guns. Politicians in general don't want us armed, don't want us to have any power. But the left has made it part of their platform, and we need to fight that. And the best way to fight it is to fight it in the kids that are coming up now. Don't let them be indoctrinated against firearms and against the Second Amendment and against freedom in general. Try to reach out in whatever way we can. So if you can, please go over and donate to Toy Guns for Tots. And if you're left of center, remember, this isn't a generalization. It's something that we need to try and change. Hey everybody, Yankee here. Just want to remind everyone that Toy Guns for Tots 2024 is in full swing. If you can at all afford to do so, please go over to my website. There's a link in the upper right corner of this video and donate to help provide a toy gun for a child in need this year and make their Christmas a very merry one.